On Leap Year Day 2020, I met a couple of former Royal Marines in Stokesley Marketplace. They are Ian Clinton and Joel McGlynn, and I think they're quite mad, but in a very good way. Having served in Afghanistan, they are now proposing to row with two other friends from the Marines across the North Atlantic from Brooklyn Bridge to Tower Bridge. They hope to set a new record, and good luck to them, because this is a feat that only 57 people in history have achieved. The crossing has been attempted a total of 72 times, with only 29 successes. So on past form, the chances of completing the journey are less than 50%. These guys know that they are in for, to quote their own website, a relentless rowing routine of 2 hours rowing and 2 hours resting for up to 60 days, whilst battling the ferocious weather systems of the North Atlantic, huge freezing swells over the mid-Atlantic ridge, sleep deprivation, seasickness, and constant war against being wet, cold and hungry for its entirety." Unquote. Seasickness? Marines? You're kidding me. But honestly, the things some people will do for fun. The boat is distinctly on the compact side. Forget not just luxuries, but basic creature comforts. I was curious to know what might drive them to undertake such a daunting voyage. We are here in Stokesley Marketplace looking at a not very big boat with some 4 rowlocks, and you're going to row across the ocean. Why?
I dare say to raise awareness on plastic pollution. And what we've done is we teamed up with a charity called Plastic Oceans UK, and we've been touring around schools and giving assemblies and trying to educate the younger generation to try and make a difference as they're growing up to take more responsibility when it comes to plastic pollution.
Is this because we've all seen those horrible programmes about how the ocean's getting filled with plastic and some beaches you can't move for the stuff? That's what it's about?
There's a Plastic Oceans company we've teamed up with. They are responsible for the documentary on Netflix, which took off quite profoundly, called A Plastic Ocean. And that basically just spread the news about plastic and what it's doing to the environment. Mm-hmm. It's an indestructible product, and it's not going anywhere. It's just collecting, and it's just getting worse and worse.
And then it's breaking down and getting to the food chain. Blah, blah.
Yeah, and so on. So yeah, you're dead right.
And I think there was one particularly distressing piece on an Attenborough programme about an albatross that had tried to feed its young on little bits of plastic.
Yeah, and the unfortunate thing is this is happening time and time again all around the world, but we just can't see it. That's just one bit of footage there that's being filmed, and we have had the unfortunate event of actually witnessing it on the camera, but that's happened time and time again that we can't see beneath the surface, above the surface, everywhere. So if we can take more responsibility when it comes to plastic consumption, in particular the way that we dispose of plastic, then it's going to make a big difference.
Only a fraction of the plastic that we produce is recycled.
This is never going to degrade. It's got nowhere to go.
The record is 276 pieces of plastic inside of one 90-day-old chick.
If the plastics are in the food chain for the dolphin, they're also in our food chain.
Exactly. Communities are built on these landfill sites.
So sweet potatoes, corn, sugar cane, all growing on 40 years of garbage.
Do you have anything not wrapped in plastic?
No.
No. We have to make our life better for our kids' children. Change is possible. It starts with us.
Oh, enough of the melodramatic background music already, but that was a clip from the Netflix documentary Plastic Oceans, just referred to. I'm in Stokesley Marketplace talking to Ian Clinton and Joel McGlynn.
We both former Marines. There's one member of the team that's still in the Marines, and there's another member of the team that's also outside the Marines now.
Okay, so you're as fit can be, which you need to be to row this distance.
Yeah, I think you need to be pretty fit to row this distance, considering it's 3,700 miles. It's a route that nobody before has ever attempted.
Really?
3,700 miles.
So why did you pick it?
Yeah, we're going to go for the record of the North Atlantic. The Mid-Atlantic's a shorter route.
Right.
We're going to the north, more exposed, more ferocious seas. And we're starting from New York.
You do like a challenge, don't you?
Yeah, I think we picked a different route, something different that's not been done. So,
okay.
And here we are today. So we're going from New York, and we're starting at Brooklyn Bridge in New York, and we're going to finish, hopefully, Tower Bridge, London.
Yeah, well, all the best with that. Let's talk through the practicalities of the vessel. It is not big.
No.
but there's sleeping quarters for 4 of you just about.
Yes. Well, more, I dare say it's only really sleeping quarters for 2 people, because there's always going to be 2 people rowing, there's always going to be 2 people resting. And what happens when there's a really bad storm, you batten down the hatches and then you do squeeze all 4 members between 2 cabins. But when I say squeeze, it's literally a squeeze. It's not really made for 2 people in both compartments, but you just got no choice when you're in a storm.
We hope that doesn't happen very often.
Well, we hope that doesn't happen very often, but we are at the mercy of nature, and we can control the weather. And that's one of the very appealing things about this challenge, is you can't control everything that's in your surroundings.
And you're all very good friends.
Yeah, we're all very good friends. Well, we might not be by the end of it.
Okay. Right. Now, food, supplies, how do you get those on board?
Yeah, so we've gone for the dehydrated rations, which is obviously the lightest option, and we're looking for the highest calories we can get. And initially we got some in the UK, but we've just found out that we can't actually ship them to the US. So we are struggling a little bit with the rations. We have got options in the US now, but we've got 70 days worth of rations in the UK that we can't use. So any camping supplies who want to get in touch, we can sell them on if they need them.
But you have to take everything with you?
Yes, we have to take everything with us. So we're taking 70 days worth of food. We hope it would take around 50, 60 days, 70 potentially, but there has been cases where people have been at sea for over 100 days.
Right. Let's talk about drink as well, because you're going to get dehydrated rather quickly and you can't drink seawater.
No, you can't drink seawater, unfortunately. That would make things a little bit easier, wouldn't it? But we got what's called a desalinator, and it's a water maker. We got a water maker that's a desalinator.
Oh, that's clever.
And what that does is that sucks the seawater up, desalinates the water, and then it turns it into drinking water for ourselves. And it just tastes very much fresh. It creates something like 30 litres of water within an hour.
Right.
So every morning we'll turn that water maker on, create our water for the day. Then we can keep topping ourselves up so we don't get dehydrated.
Is that a part of these solar panels by any chance?
Yeah, so it's powered off the solar panels.
Ah, right.
And then that's connected to the batteries, which is then connected up to the water maker itself. And that's with everything on board. It's all charged off the solar panels pretty much. We've got battery supplies on there which should run for a certain amount of days until we need to hit the sun and get them recharged.
Yeah, okay. Can I delicately ask how you then get rid of the food matter that you ingest?
Well, that's something that we just keep on board. We just got to store up all of our rubbish and then dispose of it correctly.
I mean, your
once we get
human
home.
waste is what I'm thinking.
Our human waste is a little bit different. Where do you think it goes?
Possibly overboard.
Yeah, in a bucket and then throw it over the side.
I see.
Yeah.
You presumably have a lot of sponsorship for this. It must be quite a... Yeah, so who's sponsoring you?
So we've got quite a lot of main sponsors who have given us obviously the most in financial aspects, but we've got a lot of smaller sponsors that have given us kit and stuff there. Easier to approach to get kit because they're happy to give it. But the biggest sponsors are companies such like Oceaneering, Milestone's our main sponsor. Then we've got Resipol, Logco, and Satcase are providing with the satellite phone. Cannigan Tate doing the ship, and everyone's playing a part to get us where we need to be. Yeah. And so right now we're in a fantastic position.
But you are local guys, aren't you?
Yeah. So me and Joel are both from Teesside. We're both born and bred here. Joel's from Martin. I'm from Thornaby.
So have the local council sponsored you at all?
No, they have not. But we've...
Shame!
Get them in touch with us.
Come on, Yorkshire! Support the guys, yeah. But presumably you're in touch with media, and it's going to be pretty massive, isn't it, this?
I think it's quite big, yeah. We've had a lot of local media so far, and the other guys down Devon and Manchester have had some media support there, but I think as it's getting close to the time, it's starting to ramp up, and the media are starting to take more of an interest. And
presumably there will be a massive welcome home do when you finally get to port.
Yeah, we'd like to believe there's going to be a massive welcome home do. Yeah. With as many people that are wanting to come down and celebrate the victory. I think you've got to be very careful in the way that you look at these things and the way that you vocalise these things. So I like to talk about being successful as opposed to if you're being successful. So I'd like to say when we are successful, there's going to be a lot of people stood on Tower Bridge celebrating as we come underneath with our tops off, celebrating.
And obviously you hope you're going to beat the record, but in a way, if you've raised the awareness, you've succeeded already.
I think we've already succeeded in that sense, no matter what, because we've been planning and preparing this challenge now since September 2018, and we've done many school assemblies, and every single school assembly there's different kids getting inspired. I do believe we are inspiring the next generation to make a difference.
Right.
So I think we've won in that aspect already.
What can the individual do to reduce their use of plastic or use plastic more responsibly?
For me, it's all about taking individual responsibility and making conscious buying choices. If you can take your own reusable bags to the shop, that's going to make a big difference in terms of how many plastic bags are consumed around the globe every single year. And also, if you can go to a shop and not find the need to buy plastic bottles, there's another thing we can reduce on. And if we can reduce on these small things like this, it's going to make a massive collective change.
Yeah. Because as somebody once said, everything an individual does is a drop in the ocean, but the ocean is full of drops.
Oh, I like that phrase.
You like that one?
I'm going to quote that again.
Okay, right. So if I can now turn to you and ask you about the supermarkets and the people that package stuff in plastic, what would you like to say to them?
So it's really hard to get away with the packaged plastic. When you go in the supermarket, you literally can't get away from it. Well, one of the good ways that you could get away from it is come to this new store called The Only Way Out.
Another plug for 'em. Yes.
Which is a completely plastic-free store, and it sells pretty much. There's a big, massive range of stuff there. It's quite a surprising range of products, and it's completely plastic-free. So come along, bring your own. Yeah. You have to buy initially probably your jars and your stuff like that, but once you've got that, you're good to go.
But I'm thinking, for example, we're just coming up Easter now. If anything is over-packaged, it's Easter eggs.
Yeah.
So do we need to change the culture on that?
I think the culture needs to be changed across the board everywhere, really, because it's just so easy to pick up a product these days that's double wrapped. It'll be in a plastic tub and it'll be plastic bag, which avoiding them products and going for the loose fruit and vegetables if you can, and just the small choices make a big change.
Yeah, good for you. So when this is all over, are you going back to the Marines?
No, I don't think we'll be going back to Marines.
No, you've done your turn. Are you going to keep campaigning?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to keep campaigning. You know what? It's not just plastic that's an issue in this country or this globe. There's many different issues that we got, whether it's mental health, whether it is plastic, or whether it's the environmental issues. There's so many different issues that we can tackle. So there's always a cause that you can try and raise awareness for. And I'd like to believe that there's always going to be a cause that I'm going to start challenging people to take a different view on.
And you? Are you going to Marine again?
I'm not going to go in the Marines again. I did think about it maybe a few years ago and give it a go, but not today.
No. Are you going to campaign?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to campaign. I think there's exactly what just says. There's many different problems in the world that can be looked at, and this is just one that we've got ourselves entrenched in, and it's been a good story so far.
And that was Ian Clinton and Joel McLinn talking to me in Stokesley Marketplace, right outside, as you may have gathered, The Only Way In, the new plastic-free store that's proving to be such a stimulus to us as we all try to respond to the challenge of our plastic-polluted world. For more information about their voyage, go to oceanrevival2020.com and be in awe. For Leaving Online Radio, I'm Richard Bradshaw.